Yeah, and now we have a clear. I'm hesitant to go to you right away because I still haven't done what I needed to do to I still haven't done what I needed to do to get that extra scene. Darn it. I'm sorry, I accidentally moved my chat screen and now it's gone. Oh, no, it isn't gone. It just went into a weird place. Hello? There we are. Everything's still is still running okay. Okay, so I guess we'll go Yukiko. Yeah, and this is what happens when you beat Labrys' story. You can choose to start from the beginning or continue from the cliffhanger.
Anti-Shadow? Labrys?
That was what Miss President said. Miss President is now completely different. Where she had arms and legs before is now metal. Her form is now exactly the same as the Shadow, including all the mechanical parts.
All systems are clear. Commencing elimination.
Miss President then swings a giant axe with ease and begins fighting the Shadow against the Shadow. Amazing. That's the only word that comes to mind. She transformed from cowering girl into a robot trading blows with the Shadow in an instant. She doesn't even have a persona.
I can't believe this. You completely shut off your ego. So you don't care if you live or die as long as you don't have to face up to what you really are? How ignorant are you?
The Shadow growls and destroys the announcement room door, making her escape. Miss President follows suit.
Miss President!
She doesn't acknowledge my voice in the slightest. I'm left dumbfounded in the room, trying to make sense of what I just saw. Miss President isn't human? That can't be.
It seems I came too late. She's an older generation model, yet she's this powerful?
Damn it, Zero! The one that appeared from the broken door. The one that appears from the broken door was. Wait, what? How do I put this in words? It was a woman wearing a white fur coat, but with some kind of skin-tight bodysuit, like a secret agent from one of those action movies guys like so much. Given her taste in clothes, I have no idea what kind of person she is at all. After she looked us all over, she gracefully raises her hand in the air. And then... she summoned a persona? I tense up on an instinct, but while I'm still in shock, the wounds on Yukon's body heal instantaneously. She's not an enemy?
No way. You can use a persona? Actually, I didn't sense you at all. Who are you?
Well, since you've all become unavoidably involved with this, I'll at least tell you who I am. My name is Mitsuru Kirijo. In a way, I'm the one responsible for this commotion.
A persona user besides us. Wait, I feel like I've heard the name Kirijo before.
What do you mean you're responsible for this? Do you also know the reasons behind what happened a moment ago?
I'm sorry, but there's only so much I'm at liberty to tell you. Though it's only natural for you to have your doubts, I'll try and answer to the best of my ability.
Mitsuru sighs before telling us about the sequence of events leading up to now. Even though it was simplified, what she told us came as a huge shock. She told us that shadows not only appear in the TV world, but that there are cases where they appear in the real world as well. On top of that, there's a never-ending battle, and Mitsuru-san is leading an organization created to fight those battles. And one of those weapons created for this was Labris. That would... sorry, I'm still kind of choking up from Labris' story. That would be Ms. President, who was with us until a moment ago. Oh wait, I had a feeling I heard the name Kirijo before. The Kirijo Group? It's not just a stock brokerage. It's a huge corporation that manufactures a lot of things. And if her last name is Kirijo, then that means this giant corporation is... And she's... Whoa, my mind is spinning from the implications of this. I need to slow down for a moment. After I stop for a second, I consider everything again. One thing stands out to me the most.
I can't believe this. A machine made with a heart so it could use a persona. Well, we did just see it in action.
I understand that it's hard to believe, but I'm not lying to you. It's the truth. Of course, I didn't expect a shadow to emerge from her like that.
Mitsuru-san continues on after looking us straight in the
You
eye.
should leave the rest of this to us. It's all right if you back out now.
Her words have an air of authority to them. She seems very strong-willed. This is a person who's well aware of the gravity of the situation. She's right, though. Ordinary high school students like us probably shouldn't be involved in a case like this. Even though she healed Yukon, I can't help but worry about him. I'm concerned about the friends I left behind as well.
I
Still,
understand what you're saying. But I can't leave Miss President like this.
What? Why not?
From what you told us, it seems like she was created only to fight. But I can't claim that this has nothing to do with me. The way she talked was just like a normal girl.
Miss President was suffering. Even if she was a robot created only for fighting, I'm sorry, it's still there. I can't leave her. I can't leave her be after seeing her so emotional. She's not just a robot anymore.
I promised her that once we got to the bottom of this, we'd go out and have fun together. I can't break that promise. If she has a heart, that's all the more reason I can't turn my back on her.
That's right. It doesn't matter if she's a machine. She and I were able to relate to each other. And she protected us. If she's suffering right now, then I want to be by her side and support her. To Mitsuru-san, this may seem like nothing more than an emotion-fueled plea, something coming from an unrelated high school student. But I still don't want to back down.
I'd like to make a request too. Will you take Yukiko with you?
Yukon?
Don't worry about us. You need to save Labrys right now.
That's right, Yukiko-senpai. You gotta do your best in our place.
Yukon, Rise-chan, thank you. Mitsuru-san looks at us, waiting tensely, and furrows her brow, and speaks up.
If you're still concerned about Labrys despite knowing the dangers involved, then I won't stop you.
Thank you.
But we can't waste any more time. Let's go.
Coming.
Mitsuru-san takes the lead and exits the announcement room. I sprint after her. Yukon and Rise-chan cheer me on. I feel their support boosting my spirits. This is the course I've decided upon for myself. I have no doubts anymore. I must accomplish this no matter what. I follow Mitsuru-san and chase after Labrys. Those invisible walls are still in the way. Trying to chase someone down and while being blocked at every turn is really annoying. We're eventually led to one of the empty classrooms, and Mitsuru-san's face turns gloomy.
Another one of those invisible walls.
She reaches toward the other exit to stood out and knocks on thin air. Does that mean I reach out to the door we just passed through? Another invisible wall. We can see outside, but we can't leave.
Does this mean...
Ugh, the tournament rules are still in effect, it seems. She plans to make us fight each other. I should have seen this coming.
Mitsuru-san draws the thin sword at her waist, as if resigned to the task before us. Don't tell me, do I have to fight against Mitsuru-san now? Even with her sword pointed at me, I can't bring myself to take a defensive stance. Seeing me like that, Mitsuru-san furrows her brow. She turns completely cold, unlike a moment ago.
She's trying to buy time. That means the situation can still get worse. We don't have much time. Let's settle this.
Mitsuru-san!
Is that as far as you're willing to go? Wasn't there something you wanted to protect?
What I want to protect. That's right. I made a decision to come with her because I wanted to save Miss President. No, Labrys. But to fight against someone I just met for no reason. Mitsuru-san must have sensed my lack of determination, because her expression becomes even more
Let
stern.
me clear up any misunderstanding you may harbor. All responsibilities regarding Labrys devolve to me. I respect her feelings, but I can't allow people's lives to be put at risk. If all else fails, destroying her is also an option.
Jeez, Mitsuru.
Destroying her?
If your desire to protect her is real, you can prove it by beating me. But if you won't fight, then keep trembling where you are, and I'll settle this very quickly indeed.
She's not saying this as a threat. One look at her face tells me she's serious. If it comes down to it, this person really has the resolve to destroy Labrys. Then I need to make up my mind too. I must resolve to fight, to protect her.
I'll fight. Whatever I think, if only one of us can move on, it should be whoever's stronger.
Now that's what I was hoping to hear. Of course, whether or not you can best me is another matter.
Yeah, Mitsuru is quite the veteran. I sense a strong power from Mitsuru-san's persona. But I don't want to lose. I'm fighting for Labrys.
Finally!
Ow.
Stay away! Keep focused. Keep focused. Freeze over. I'm coming for Swarm Escape.
Ow.
Next time. Well, away with you. On the down. I'll fight to the bitter end. I expected that. On the down. Swarm Escape. Better luck next time. Walk loose.
Gotta do it every fight.
Well done. You have proven your resolve.
And just like, again, big red mark across the face. Upon saying so, Mitsuru-san smiles. It seems that the sternness she had before the fight wasn't genuine.
Now go after her. I'm confident that you can salvage her heart.
Even though she had spoken about destroying her like an object before the fight, she just said her heart. Could it
Did
be?
you let me win on purpose?
I object to the question. I don't indulge people in critical situations like this.
Yeah, she's right. The stern words Mitsuru-san said before we fought may have actually been an attempt at kindness on her part. Me going forward instead of her means that if worse comes to worse, I will have to make that painful decision myself. If you think of it like that, losing on purpose wouldn't be kind at all. I chide myself from having such soft thoughts. Having someone's life, saving someone's life isn't something that you can do half-heartedly. If it was the same with last year, it was the same with last year's case too. Since I fought Mitsuru-san and won, I must accomplish this no matter what.
Okay. Then I'm going now. And I'm coming back with Labrys no matter what.
That's the spirit. I'm counting on you, Amagi.
I turn my back towards Mitsuru-san and run out of the classroom. I hurry and try to make my way to the labyrinth as quickly as possible. I proceed down the hallways once again, led by invisible walls. As I make my way, I notice that I'm being led back to the announcement room, where I had rushed out of not long before. What's the meaning of this? The door that was destroyed earlier is back to normal, and I don't see Yukiko or Rise-chan around either. I try opening the door. I need to figure out why this is happening. Yeah! Enjoy not sleeping tonight.
What's going on?
I feel like I'm going to go insane. When I open the door, the scene beyond the window has completely changed. There are tons of grotesque things that are shaped like people. This seems entirely different from the announcement room I was in earlier. Labrys and her shadow are fighting within the sinister red world, trying to destroy each other.
Labrys, please wake up!
There is no light in Labrys's eyes. She's expressionless, she's expressionless, like she really is a machine. She looks entirely different from when she called herself student council president. This is Labrys's true form? No, that's not
Don't have
it.
to fight like that. Don't act like you're a machine.
Labrys, who notices my voice, takes distance from her shadow and turns to me. Her expression is still robotic.
Analyzing voice print. Identity confirmed as Yukiko Amagi. Yukiko Amagi.
We made a promise to each other. You just have to be yourself.
Yukiko-san?
Labrys's eyes look different now. They're not the eyes of a machine anymore. They're the eyes of the girl I've come to know in this short time. But once she drops her mechanical nature, her precise mechanical movements lose rhythm. The shadow who have been watching us distorts her lips into a smirk and seizes upon this opening.
Oh, really? After she lied to you and used you all this time? That's not... First, you deceived her by acting human. And now that things aren't going your way, you've decided to be a machine instead? Why don't you just give it up? Just tell everyone how you really feel. You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through, right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand. No! That wasn't my wish at all!
The shadow glares at me with as much hate as she could muster. Labrys looks towards me as well, and her face scrunches up into a bowl of sadness. I want my pain to be understood. The shadow made us friends fight each other in this TV world because Labrys wished for it to happen? Does that mean Labrys was forced to fight against those who were close to her too? Just because she's a weapon? I don't think I can ever truly say that I understand how she feels. But...
It's all right. I don't know what happened to you in the past. But whatever it was, it doesn't define you. I understand that much at least.
Understand? What could you possibly understand? All you've got is some cheap, self-righteous pity.
That's not true.
It's not cheap. I know. I've seen Labrys's kind expressions. She's no different from an ordinary girl.
Please stop! I've had enough!
My words still don't reach her. The shadow ridicules Labrys, who is still trembling in place.
Oh, yeah? Then let me take over from here. I'll destroy everyone who pretends to understand, just like you did before. Stop!
Upon hearing Labrys's voice, the shadow's face contorts into glee. And that's when I finally figure it out. No, that's not right. I didn't figure it out. I remembered. I should have realized it much sooner. The shadow's true objective. That's...
No, you're not me!
Oh boy. Yeah, for anyone not familiar with Persona 4, this is essentially a red flag. You never say this.
That's right. I'm myself. I'm not you anymore.
She's going to morb!
The power!
Oh dear. a shadow goes berserk and gains power after it's denied by its owner. I knew that, and yet I didn't stop it from happening. I stepped between Labrys and the shadow, who has changed into an ominous form. I couldn't stop her shadow from going berserk, but it's still not too late.
What? You're still gonna stand in my way? Fine! I'll crush you along with the real one!
The same thing happened to me, too. I'm only here right now because Yukiko and the others saved me when I rejected my own weakness. Yeah, everyone in Persona 4 had to go through this. Well, everyone in the main party, except for you. And just like then, someone needs to step in and save someone else. This time, it's my turn to save Labrys. Okay, before we get to this fight, I need to take a bio break. I returned. Hey, Robin, and I was going to sleep soon, but I saw you were streaming, and I'm going to watch the stream as I get ready to lurk a bit. Lurk a bit. Hope to catch your streams again. And sorry, I have to stream later than usual because of load shedding. Thankfully, I'll have a bit more of a normal a normal schedule next week, even if load shedding persists. But thanks for joining us. We're about to fight Shadow Labrys as Yukiko. You know what that means. Interesting fact, by the way. You see there that her quote-unquote persona is named Asterius. Ow! Ow! Don't worry, our time zones are just different. It seems, so it's nobody's fault. Just glad that I caught it anyway. Yeah, thanks for coming. Okay, so quick fact. You saw there that Labrys' quote-unquote persona is Asterius. Asterius is the real name of the Minotaur in Greek mythology. Everyone just knows him as the Minotaur, but that's his real name. Gotta do it! Gotta end every fight with a slap with Yukiko. This will become a meme. Labrys' shadow collapses and stops moving. Thank goodness. It seems that I managed to win. All that's left is for Labrys to accept her shadow, and it should put an end to everything. But the weight of the past Labrys is harboring isn't a normal thing. When anyone goes through tough times, the wish that normal people would experience their pain arises in everyone's mind at one point or another. But the pain from her past comes from her being forced to kill her friends. It's uncomparable to the problems I needed to face last year. If I were forced to take Chie's life with my own hands, I think I would go insane. I wonder if she'll be okay.
Labras.
I call to Labras while my heart is pounding. Labras answers in a teary voice. I have to support her. There's no way I can understand everything she's gone through. But that's precisely why she needs my support.
Why? Why did you save me? You already know I'm a machine. I'm a machine that's supposed to protect people. But because what they did to me was so painful, I took it out on other people too. So why are you? It's okay. You must have suffered so much.
That's an understatement.
I'm sorry. You went through so much pain to protect us. But it's all right now. I won't let those things happen to you anymore.
Labras looks up in response to my words. When I think about when Labras protected us from her shadow, how she closed off her heart to reverse to the mechanical heart, to the mechanical self that she never wanted to show anyone, my heart aches. I never want her to go through that again. Sorry, I'm still emotional. This is going to be a common thing. This is going to be a common theme at this point. Because of that, I could never truly say that I understand her feelings. But I'm sure that I can at least protect her so that she won't have to go through this pain anymore.
It doesn't matter if you're human or not. I'm your friend. We made a promise, remember? You want to be friends?
Mm-hmm. Be friends? We're friends. Be friends? We're friends already. That's why, if you're going to go through tough times, I'll always be there to help you through and protect you. Labras seems genuinely surprised. She probably doesn't realize it, but she doesn't look like anything like a machine when she makes these faces like that. I can tell that you truly have a heart.
I faced my own shadow too. I wanted to blame everything on someone else because I felt so powerless. I was waiting for someone to do my work for me. I wanted to escape from my life, so I dreamed that a prince would take me away. But my friends helped me realize that was just me trying to run from my problems.
I recount my own experiences for Labras. It's the same as what Labras went through a moment ago. She had experiences that she didn't ever want other people to know about. The truth was too painful to accept, so she rejected it. Labras has a heart, just like I
The
do.
reason I could accept my weakness and fight this to the very end is because I had my friends helping me. I had friends who worried about me, who stood beside me. I wasn't alone.
I smile at Labras. Just as Yukiko did for me back
That
then.
gave me unimaginable strength. You're not alone anymore either. I'm sure you'll be able to find a place where you belong too.
At some point, I gotta get Persona 4 Gold on PC to play it. I would need a walkthrough for the optimal way to play, but admitting your own weakness is scary. No one wants to see their weakness, but I know that it's possible if you don't have to face it alone. When Labras hears my words, the light returns to her eyes. I can sense a strong will from her. That light must be from her heart. I'm so glad that my words got through to her. Labras nods reassuringly and then begins to walk towards her shadow. She takes the steps towards her own weakness.
I'm sorry I ignored you all this time. I was the one who left you all alone.
Aww.
No. You are me, after all.
Happy birthday.
This is my persona.
Before long, Rise-chan contacts us. She must have sensed the Shadow's disappearance, and we managed to join up with each other. Okay, so I mentioned before that Asterius is the name of the Minotaur in Greek mythology. Labrys's persona is called Ariadne. Ariadne was the princess of Crete who fell in love with Theseus and gave him the thread which allowed him to navigate the Minotaur's labyrinth. So there's a definite being lost and found theme here. The invisible walls and the tournament rules both seem to have stopped when Labrys accepted her own shadow. As Rise-chan uses her persona to contact everyone and tell them that everything's been solved, some of her starts surprised to discover that Kanji-kun is here, as well as Naoto-kun, who wasn't even supposed to be in Inaba today. Rise-chan tells everyone to meet up on the rooftop. From what she says, the studio-like space is connected to Junet, seems to have been restored there. The four of us immediately begin to head towards the entrance, but Labrys stops. When I ask what's wrong, she responds anxiously.
Hey, can I really come with you? Seems like I'd just be a nuisance.
Oh, this is persona. Everyone's a nuisance.
What do you mean, a nuisance?
Well, you know, I'm a machine. There'd be all sorts of problems.
Again, I would like to point out that that the Persona 3 crew not only has a robot not on their team, but a dog.
There what?
What does she mean by problems? Compared to Teddy, I can't think of any possible issue is Labrys would cause. Yeah, and the Persona 4 team has Teddy. Teddy's a friggin' shadow.
Are you saying it wouldn't bother you and your friends? Wow. You sure are cool about all of this.
Jeez, Labrys, you sound more human than a lot of people out there. If I were you, I'd brag about it. You don't think it's cool being a robot and a persona user?
It's unique, that's for sure. In any case, there's no way you'd be a nuisance.
Yukiko and Rise-chan both laugh out loud. I can't help but giggle along with them. Considering our circumstances, there's nothing all that weird about Labrys. She's now a good friend of ours, no different from anyone else here.
Hey, there they are. Welcome back.
Yukiko! You really outdid yourself this time!
When we reach the entrance area, Yosuke and Chie call out to me. They've been worried about me ever since I fought against them. Teddy notices that Labrys is with me and immediately dashes over with glee.
Are you okay, Miss President? I was so worried about you. Huh? Those hands and legs, are they accessories? You're so meta-luring.
Oh! Yeah, can we trade him for General Teddy? Please?
I can scarcely believe my eyes. The Kirijo group's humanoid weapons actually exist.
Yukiko seems to know a bit about her already. But yeah, considering that everyone is here, I think now is a good opportunity to introduce her. I tell everyone everything that happened with Labras, with some help from Yukiko and supplemental comments. After I finish talking, silence washes over the rooftop. Labras has fallen silent too, and looks serious. Kanji-kun is the first to speak.
I don't really get what's going on, but everything worked out, yeah? So I'm glad everyone's alright.
Oh, Kanji, you sweet, innocent child.
What's with the jumping to conclusions? You're one of the things that got us into this mess, you know.
Well, that was anyone could have done that.
Somehow I doubt it. You'll see when we get to Kanji's story.
Actually, are you feeling okay? You're not tired or... Oh, what am I saying? Of course you're tired.
Huh? No, I'm fine. Isn't there something wrong with this picture? Shouldn't you guys be pissed at me and all?
Huh? What would we be mad about? Nah, don't worry about it. We're cool. Pretty much all of us have caused trouble for each other because of our shadows.
Yeah, especially Kanji-kun.
Me? That's not fair. I never saw your guys' shadows, you know. Naoto's was pretty crazy, at least.
Don't drag me into this. I mean, after the epithet given to Kanji-kun, I imagine that his shadow must have been far, far worse than mine.
Hell no!
Labras blinks in surprise after seeing the group's usual friendly pace. See? I told you that there wouldn't be any problems. When I say that to her, Labras quietly replies back, "Man, you were right." And then...
Well done, Amagi. I had every confidence that you could do this.
I hear a voice behind me. When I turn around, I see Mitsuru-san and two other people. Who are they? Were they in here looking for Labras too? Like Mitsuru-san, they both have weird outfits. And that person...
Nice to meet you all. My name is Aigis. Thank you very much for saving my sister.
P4A best girl! The girl with the body similar to Labras seems to have noticed me looking at her and addresses me. Sister? Does she mean Labras? And that means...
Excuse me, but are you also...
Yes, I too am a robot.
She's kind of a later version of what Labras was built for. Oh, I'm Akihiko Sanada. Sorry for all the trouble.
And sorry for not wearing a shirt. I'm under legal obligation to show my massive pecs. So Aika-san is a robot, and Akihiko-san is the one wearing the cape. Is the one wearing a red cape. Okay, I've committed them to memory. And again, I guess it would be harder to forget them. Wait until you meet the rest of the group. In contrast to those two, Labras takes a step back. Her expression is tense. Is she nervous? Of course she is. They came in here looking for her, after all. Oh yeah, I didn't introduce everyone to Mitsuru. I didn't introduce everyone to Mitsuru-san and her friends. Well, I'm still flustered. Yukon and Rise-chan officially introduced them to everyone else. And afterward, Mitsuru-san explained the circumstances of how they ended up here, to us. More like to Labras, though. How this case began by Labras being dropped into a TV, and how they all pursued her into this world. As Mitsuru-san explains her intentions, Labras seems to get even more nervous. She must be worried. But it's alright. Mitsuru-san realizes Labras' emotional state. She turns her gaze towards Labras and kindly smiles at her.
Don't worry. I'm not planning to seal you away again.
But I ran wild and caused so much trouble. I mean, not just today, but back then, too.
You've awakened to your persona and gained control over it. You're hardly a rogue test unit anymore. Besides, you have a heart. We would never treat anyone with a heart so poorly.
Mitsuru-san is really as kind as I thought. Promotion seemed to have reached Labras as well, and she's about to answer. And she's about to answer Mitsuru-san. Goodness. Her expression goes blank, and she suddenly stops moving. Huh? What's going on?
Huh? Labras' recognition signal has been interrupted. Someone is hacking into her.
Recognition signal? Hacking? What does she mean? Just as I'm about to reach towards Labras...
It's not over yet.
Jeez, that voice. A completely different person's voice comes out of Labras' mouth. Upon hearing that, Mitsuru-san notices something I don't, and mutters in surprise.
Is this the same communication system we use?
What are you standing around for? Everyone, get away from Labras!
Labras' hand jerkily reaches towards the axe on her back. After a moment's pause, she swings at us without any hesitation.
Labras! What's going on? I cannot gain access. She's being controlled. It isn't coming from inside this facility. The signal originates elsewhere.
You mean outside the TV?
This is someone I want to beat the crap out of very bad.
This is just a little extra resistance. Now, entertain me.
Labras dashes towards us with glazed eyes. Just when everyone is shell-shocked by the sudden turn of events, I stand before Labras.
What are you doing? It's too dangerous.
I've got a fan, and I've got slaps.
I'll stop her. Isn't this part of protecting her? I need to stop this.
Amagi.
I don't know what's going on, but there's no way Labras would try to hurt anyone. If someone is controlling her, I have to put a stop to it. I draw my fan and face her. I made a promise to her earlier. I promised that I'd never let her suffer alone again.
Please, wake up!
Yep, we got one more fight.
Finally. Fight!
Oh, she's using the Shadow Labras moveset.
My, she was quite easily defeated. Evidently, I didn't push her far enough. Well, she is a test unit, so this is as far as my little game goes.
A disgusting, carefree voice emerges from Labras, who has ceased moving. Her eyes are still lifeless. My friend Labras still hasn't returned. An uncontrollable fury rages through me, and hearing that voice describe her like some broken toy.
Who are you? Give Labras back!
Very well. I've acquired enough data after all. I should thank you all. Although this didn't work out, you did stay in it to the very end.
Labras's shadow was only the mastermind of the tournament. I see now. You're the true culprit behind the whole thing.
Mitsuru-san's words make me remember. Now that I think about it, Labras's shadow separated from Labras when she entered the TV. In other words, she only sponsored the tournament. But she didn't drop herself into the TV. Without someone to do that, this case could not have happened. Does this mean that the culprit is controlling Labras from somewhere outside the TV? Somewhere safe? This can't be forgiven.
Indeed. It was I who stole Labras away. Since I don't have a persona and can't enter a TV, I needed a puppet that could run amok for me. Labras's persona was only partially awakened, so I had a feeling her shadow would appear if she underwent a little suffering. You got the better of me this time. You deserve to know at least that much.
This time? Are you still planning something?
The culprit mocks her. I can't take this anymore. I thought that I was finally able to save her. I thought that everything would be alright now.
Enough! You're the worst! Labras has a heart! How can you do this to her knowing that?
A heart, hmm? Meaningless. Whether or not she has one matters not at all to my plan.
What? That's it!
The voice continues mocking us and ignores my words.
Well then, everyone, until we meet again.
It sounds like the culprit just cut off communication. In that moment, Labras falls to her knees. I rush over to support her, but she's gone completely limp. Her metal body is very heavy. Everyone here goes silent, and a heavy atmosphere fills the area. Mitsuru-san looks gloomy, but she speaks up with determination in her
It
voice.
seems whoever our adversary is, they're connected to us. I advise you not to get involved in this matter any further. From here on, you should leave this to us.
Wait a second. We can't just leave things like this.
I understand how you feel, but this is too dangerous for you. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. Trust in us and let us work.
This is different from the way she was acting towards me earlier. This time, Mitsuru-san isn't testing me, but completely rejecting our involvement outright. I think that what she's saying is probably the correct course of action. There must be something going on behind this. If that's the case, high school students are probably going to be less equipped to handle it than a well-funded organization like Mitsuru-san's. But still, I can't just back down.
Guys, let's leave this to them.
Huh? Are you serious?
Yukiko must realize Mitsuru-san's resolution too. This must be something we have to come to an understanding about. My mind understands that, but my heart still...
Yukiko, it's best for now if we go home.
Yukiko puts his hand on my shoulder. Huh? But did I just hear him say for now under his breath? When I look up in reaction to Yu's words, I see a strong fire in his eyes. I see. I nod in acknowledgement. After we got out of the TV, we disbanded on the spot without much conversation. Mitsuru-san and her friends were a bit flustered to pop out at Junette in the of a bunch of shoppers. That goes for all of us, really. With this many people looking out of the ordinary, we did cause a bit of a stir. I regret that we had to part there so quickly, because there was much more that I wanted to say. But I know that there's no way I could really express everything anyway. When I returned to the inn, the day's exhaustion hits me all at once. I draw a bath and even fall asleep in the bathtub for a bit. After waking up, I go back to my room and prepare for bed. But then I receive a call from an unknown number. Usually I don't pick up calls from numbers I don't recognize, but something tells me that I should take this one. And good thing I did.
And allow me to thank you once again. You did a lot to help today.
Mitsuru-san steps out of the long limousine parked in the outskirts of the shopping district and bows deeply to us. We're still in Inaba, but she and this big black limousine are so out of place, it feels like we're someplace else entirely. I can tell and just tell that everyone around us is watching us. Since Mitsuru-san and her friends are finished investigating this case, it seems that they'll be leaving Inaba. Standing next to her is Labyrinth. She's the one who called us, so we could say farewell in person.
Come on, Yukiko. We have to see her off properly.
Huh? Yeah.
Labyrinth was controlled by the culprit back on the roof, but there seems to have been no major issues with her body, so she looks like she's going to be fine. I should be happy knowing that she's safe. I should be smiling, but I just can't. I end up sounding downcast when I speak.
You really are going with them. I'm gonna miss you guys, but I made my decision to throw in with Mitsuru-san. I want to capture whoever's behind this. You know how you protected me this time? Now it's my turn to repay the favor.
I'm about to say that she doesn't have to worry about such things, but I stop myself. I see. So Labyrinth made this decision herself. I wish she could stay here with us. But if my friend made this decision, then I need to support her.
I'm definitely gonna be back someday. So, why don't you give me a rain check on that promise? Sound good?
Yeah, that's all right. It's still a promise.
Hearing that, I'm finally able to smile for Labyrinth. She's right. It's not like this will be the last time we see each other. Our promise will never
I'm
change.
waiting for you, though. If you break my promise, I'll make you rue the day.
The fact that she says that with a smile. Labyrinth laughs and shrugs at my joke. I need to protect this place. This place that she promised she'd return to. It's not just succeeding my family at the inn anymore. I have another reason I need to stay here.
We'll all be waiting for you.
Come back soon.
Everyone else feels the same way. It's sad to have to part with someone after just becoming friends, but we all believe that we'll see her again. Labyrinth looks like she's about to cry, but she manages to keep her smile and nods. Mitsuru-san tells her that they're about to leave, and once the two of them enters the limousine, it quietly heads off. Labyrinth pokes her head out the window and waves back at us. She keeps waving until we can't see the car anymore.
Oh, she's really gone.
Yeah, but she said she'd come see us again, so enough with the pitiful frown.
What? Did you just call me pitiful? What an incredibly rude thing to say to an idol. Just so you know, I've done a lot of ads for companies under the Kirijo umbrella. I wish I could have introduced myself better.
And just like that, we're back to our normal selves. It is sad that Labras isn't here, but Kanji-kun is right. And Golden Week has just started for us. I wasn't able to prepare another box lunch so quickly after yesterday's event, but instead, I have a great suggestion.
Why don't we go to June S? We haven't had our welcome back party for Yukon yet.
Great idea, Yuki-chan! I was just thinking the same thing!
You're right. It's been a while too, so let's all go there and catch up.
Yosuke-kun and Yukon glance at each other upon hearing my suggestion. Could they be scheming something?
Alright, sounds like a plan. We have a few things to talk to them about too, right, partner?
Yeah, let's go, everyone.
Those looks. That's like some kind of secret friend wink, isn't it? They're definitely up to something. Okay, I'm going to quickly take another bio break. I don't think we have enough to do another story after this. This took longer than I thought it would. But I will play a bit more to get some extra footage afterwards. Anyway, a quick bio break, everyone. I return. Whoop. I'm not exactly sure what's going on between them, but I do have an idea. I'm guessing it's probably something we'll all get together for, right? We still have a lot of Golden Week left, after all. After the welcome back party for Yukon, she and I are in the miscellaneous goods section and looking at trinkets. Teddy and Yosuke have gone back to work while Rise-chan takes Naoto-kun shopping. Yukon and Kanji-kun are together in the grocery area. Everyone is just doing their own thing.
Boy, was I surprised when Yukon brought that up. I didn't tell her we wouldn't get involved, was it? Can you believe him? No kidding. I wonder what Matsuri-san would say if she heard that.
You don't want to know. What Yukon and Yosuke-kun brought up during the welcome back party was the Reformation, or more like the reformation, or more like the re-reformation of the investigation team. And it was decided that we pursue this case by ourselves. There were no objections, of course. Everyone seemed to have been waiting for Yukon and words, and spoke up at once. Hold on, let me read that again. Everyone seemed to have been waiting for Yukon's words, and all spoke up at once. Okay. There's no way we can leave what happened inside this town's TV to someone else. I feel bad for Mitsuru-san, but I was really happy that the two of them were thinking the same thing. I mean, Labras is our friend. There's no way we can sit back and watch while our friend is out there doing her best, especially since this happened in our town backyard.
The Kirijo group, huh? If things go bad, this can be an even bigger problem than last year. I'm sure we'll be able to handle it. You really stepped up to the plate this time.
I think I like this new side of you.
I'm a bit happy to hear that from Chie. Whoa, that was close. We all absent-mindedly walked right by the section and we were looking for. We stop at our destination, the small shops inside Juness. I picked up some different colored hair ornaments and compare them.
Wow, this is hard. So many choices. What color should I get?
You're really into this. Hey, how about this? I think it'll look good on you.
Oh, no, it's not for me.
Pink, yellow, green. As I compare the different colors while answering Chie, she thinks for a bit before making a realization.
Oh, right. We might see her sooner than we think.
That's right. I'm sure that the culprits will be caught faster than, or if we cooperate, rather than leaving Matsura-san and her people alone to handle it. And that means that the day when I keep my promise with Labras will come sooner too. Until then, I need to find a color that fits her. I picked various colored scrunchies and imagine how they'd look decorating Labras's hair. Her embarrassed smile springs to mind as well.
I just know she'll love it.
You can now continue the cliffhanger from Naoto, Mitsuru, Akihiko, and Agasu's stories.